Okay. So we're gonna talk a little bit about Dr. Sebi on the Aboriginal Soul channel. Check it. Everybody talking about this man. It says Alfredo Bowman, also known as Dr. Sebi, born in Honduras in 1933, cured HIV, AIDS, sickle cell, herpes, heart disease, and more. The government said it was impossible. This great man proved that eating alkaline-based natural foods and plants could cure diseases. This caused a lot of conflict with the government because of population control. In August 2016, Dr. Sebi was wrongfully arrested and died in police custody. He's not only Black history, he's the universe's history. Says, all right, all right. That's what that says. But basically, I want to talk about him because I like to correlate things, right? We're going to correlate some stuff with Dr. Sebi. If you know his story, he, as a 30-something-year-old man, he was very sick mentally and physically. He went all around looking for natural healing for himself and couldn't find it. Eventually, one of his friends told him about a man down in Mexico who could heal him. So he went down there, got some information, and was able to heal himself and started to heal others, basically. Uh, so I like to bring up this bit of information right here. This lady named Henrietta Lacks. If you look her up, uh, basically her biological cells, her body kept living after she died. They still are using them today in major medical studies. Okay, Henrietta Lacks, her cells kept living. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna look in this book, History of Alabama, when Hernando Soto came through Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, Georgia, back in the 1500s. He had some battles, right? So after a battle, it says this. It says those who were slightly wounded administered. These were the Spaniards. It said those who were slightly wounded administered to those whom the Indians had pierced deepest. And as the soldiers of Cortez did in Mexico, they opened the bodies of some of the savages, and with the fat obtained, bound up the wounds with bandages torn from the garments of the soldiers who were killed. So they're saying they cut up the Indians and with the fat obtained, bound up their own wounds. Okay. Instead of using their own people, they used the Indians, right? And so did Cortez in Mexico, indicating what? That they were the same people down in Mexico, the same people up in Alabama and Florida and stuff, right? This particular battle right here that they talking about happened in Florida, I mean in Alabama, this one. But it says they cut open the bodies of some of the savages and with the fat obtained, bound up the wounds with bandages. So Henrietta Lacks cells kept living. Dr. Sebi, who went to Mexico and learned uh, learned how to heal and how the body really functions down in Mexico. One other thing about the whole scenario is that when Hernando brought 1,000 Spaniards to Florida and through his journey, they were looking for the fountain of youth. So the book says everywhere they went, they were taking baths in every little stream, just in case, they trying to live forever or whatever, or obtain the fountain of youth, right? So I guess they was getting old quick. But that correlates to what, if you watching Dr. Sebi videos right now and everything, you'll see that he talks about, and a lot of other people like Lisa Left Eye, she talked about the natural alkaline streams, the thermal waters down there in Honduras, right? That he used at his village. He said it accelerates the healing process. The thermal water, right? The alkaline, very rich alkaline water. That to me correlates to the fountain of youth. You can believe it or not. You do your own research on it, but that's, to me, is the fountain of youth. Okay, so just wanted to share that a little bit right there. Uh, yeah. Okay. There's another part in the book. Hmm. Let's see, another file. Anyway, inside that book is a part where the Spaniards was getting sick and they were dying in Alabama. They was dying, right, from an illness. So it was said in the book that they got a weed that was burnt, and the ashes was given to them, and then they stopped dying from the ashes the Indians gave them, right? The herbs, right? I need to find that piece though, so I could read it off, because it's important. So you understand the correlation. You gotta understand the correlation, because those herbs are very important to the history. The Salem witch trials, everything. Those herbs is very important. They have schools and everything named after some of those indigenous American herbs. It's weird that I can't find that. Can't find that. Let me look for it though. Hmm. should just get the book out, really. Mm-mm. Yes, in here, just gotta find it basically. Here it is, right here. It says this was the Alabama. Okay, on the march here there, a distressing disease broke out among the Spaniards from the want of salt. I don't know what that means. The death of several, together with the lonesome condition of the sufferers, spread alarm in the camp. Those who afterward used ashes with their food from a weed recommended by the Indians escaped the dreadful malady. Okay, see, in Alabama, the Indians recommended this weed that they use the ashes with their food and stopped from dying. Herbs. Okay, herbs. Now, them Spaniards had a whole bunch of pigs with them, hogs, right? They had a bunch of hogs with them on the journey. So I wanted to find that because, you know, hmm, now this is deep as well. This, not to, jumping off track a little bit, but it says the establishment of the Catholic region appears to have been one of the objects for associated with the army, meaning the Spaniards that came to conquered over there in Florida, Alabama, and all that. Uh, were 12 priests, 8 clergymen of inferior rank, and 4 monks with their robes, holy relics, and sacramental bread and wine. All right. So that was deep right there. So when they came, they had a bunch of Catholics and monks and clergymen and priests and all that, right, with them. Anyway, let's get back to these hogs that they brought. Brought some hogs to find that. Okay, this is said he always, however, distributed among the principal Indians presents which were gratifying to them, and left at many of the towns pairs of swine to stock the country. Okay. They never, before that, the 1500s right there was no pigs over here, period. So he brought them and left a pair at each town he went to. Each town he went to, he left a pair of them, huh? Hmm. That was another part that was interesting about the pigs. Well, anyway, so hard to find stuff sometimes, just freestyling. So, so yeah, there's a major connection with Mexico, right? And the culture, the herbs and stuff, the fountain of youth, that whole thing, right? So let's jump over to that. So right here, you got Alabama Research Outline. Okay, no. So right here, Greene County was created 1819. That's like the same year or the very next year that Alabama became a state. Before that, they were still encroaching, trying to, collect enough of the land, you know what I'm saying, from the Indians. But anyhow, this place, before it was called Greene County, it was called originally Mesopotamia. Okay. Mesopotamia. That's one of the original Indian words. They try to make you believe it comes from over there by India or Asia or somewhere, but it's actually uh, indigenous to the Americas, and I'll show you that here in a few. But I wanted to show you one more thing. Let's see, Covington. Okay, there's another county here that basically became a county 3 years or so after the state became a state. But this area was originally called, or a part of it was originally called Montezuma until it was changed. But in 1823, it was called Montezuma. So they didn't come there and call it that. It was being called that by the people that was already there. So Mesopotamia, Montezuma, right? Now, on this map, see, right down here where this warrior man is at, right before Guatemala over here, there's a little town with very small, about 62 people, it said, lives there, called Mesopotamia, right here. Montezuma was over here from right here by Mexico City, by the Aztecs. See, Aztecas, that's Montezuma, right? So you have two places. Now, if you go look at Mexico, old Mexico, when Texas was Mexico, blah, blah, blah. No, no, none of Alabama, none of Arkansas, none of that stuff was in parts of old Mexico, any of that, right? And I say Arkansas because Arkansas has the Toltec mounds, right? So look right here, Tolteca. See this Tolteca in Mexico? You have a Tolteca mound in Arkansas, by Little Rock, Lonoke County, Lonoke County or whatnot. See that Olmecas, Toltecas, Aztecas, the Mayans. I show you the Mayan little uh that little lime green little figurine with the same neck lace as the ones from the mounds, the artifacts. See how it's all connected? Honduras is further down there, I believe, with the fountain of youth, right? Alkaline, natural stream, natural alkaline thermal waters. And then if you go further down by Colombia, right, that has a place where a man called El Dorado, which was the golden one, a an Indian, copper colored Indian, There's also in Arkansas right there a place called El Dorado. I looked it up. It's an original place back in like the 18s. So when they first start going there, that place was El Dorado, right? So it was called that before they really settled in. So there's another connection. So Arkansas and all that is definitely connected, right? Okay, there's also a little place down here called El Manatee, right? El Manatee, that's like the water mammal or whatever. All right, if you go over to Florida, there's a El Manatee County or something like that, or Manatee County, same thing. There's also a San Lorenzo, a San Andreas down here. If you go over to Oakland, the Oakland area in California, you'll see a San Lorenzo. If you go up over by Sacramento, there's a El Dorado Hills, right? El Dorado, if you look that up, the origin of El Dorado is the golden one. When it very first was used by the Spaniards, that word was given to Indian chief down by Columbia named the Golden One, right? So, see the connections. There's a bunch of different connections with this area right here, and uh, the whole other areas, right? This whole area is connected. Now we can go down to Brazil, Peru, way down there, and we can connect it all. Okay, we'll do a timeline and everything. We'll get into that later, but um, just wanted to show you that. Okay, so just look right here because we know we got pyramids everywhere. So Chechen, this is the Maya, Tolteca, Azteca, and look at these Olmecs. That's old. That's old. Look at the mounds. Mounds. See, look, mounds. Right? See the mounds. Mounds. Okay. Now, where's a bunch of mounds at? Right here, all over the place. Right? See the connection. You know the Dr. Sebi story. You know that it took him a long time to figure out how to get healed because everybody was trying to use acid laced herbs, right? You have the hybrid plants that was made up that have an incomplete cellular structure that's no good for the body. It don't assimilate. And then you have the alkaline, all natural herbs as plants that's been around for thousands upon thousands of years that assimilate with the body. See, and that's how he figured it out down in Mexico from a so-called Mexican, right? Which they just named that place Mexico in 1821. You could look it up. So, and then if you look at some of y'all's records, you'll see that some of your relatives was born in Mexico. Okay, it'll straight say, "Hey, this man was," and then it'll say a race. It'll give his race. It'll say black. Okay, so it'll say his race was black, and they say he was born in Mexico. Okay, I have a document that says that. Okay, so just know that he was probably just born in Texas, born in Texas before it became part of the United States in like 1845 or 1850 or whatnot. Um, okay, so we're seeing the connection, right? This is right where that little town, Mesopotamia. This is where it's at down there in Mexico, right? On the map. So see the border of Mexico and Guatemala right here, way over here, going towards the Olmec, and the Aztec, Mesopotamia is right there. See it? See up here? Mesopotamia. See? Mexico, Mesopotamia. See? And then once again, I showed you already on the research outline where uh, Mesopotamia, there was an area in Alabama called Mesopotamia. Not called that by the European settlers. They changed it after. Uh, I don't know what happened for them to be able to change it, but they was able to change it later on, right? Okay. Now this right here is a old Mecca statue head, right? See these features? See this helmet thing right here? Okay. See the mounds? These people built mounds in that area. Same area where there's manatee, manatee, Florida has manatee. Okay. There's connection. Definitely. Look at this sunflower right here, I believe it is. And if you look, some of that sunflower is, I'll get into that later, but that's a unique thing. But right here it says Aztecas, Olmecas, Toltecas, Montezuma. See, Moctezuma the second. See how all that lines up together? They had a place called Montezuma, a place called Mesopotamia in Alabama, Tolteca mounds in Arkansas, along with El Dorado. Don't forget to look that up. Okay. This is your true heritage right here. This is who they don't want you to know and what they don't want you to see. Okay, is that your background is this rich. It's very, very rich. So we're gonna help get this going, get the truth out there, because everybody. Well, basically, look. So in a previous video, I told you how every 10 years they go around doing the census, right? United States federal census. So it's 2019. It'll be 2000. I mean, 2019. 2020 next year, right? So when they come knocking on your door and y'all in there, your mama, grandma, and uncles and all y'all, and y'all telling them y'all black and y'all African American and everything, then that just continues to keep us down. That keep we're not a people at all at that point. If we figured out, we did our research, we figured out who we were, got all our documents together, and then when they came around, let them know exactly what national tribe that we hail from biologically. It's in the documents. You don't need no DNA test or nothing. You know where you come from. All you just need to know is do your research so you can see that what they've been teaching us for all these years in school and all of our people, the great speakers and speech givers back in the day, they all was told and raised upon the same lie. So we sitting here trying to, just defute the lie and get past the bull and get back to our true identity. So this will be a good step, so you know who you is. So when they come asking you who you are, you don't allow them to give you any ideas about who you is, right? It's like, oh, you look black to me. Nah, uh, I look black, and then whip out your cell phone or something and then show them what black look like and then put it up against your skin and then be like, that look black. It's like, first of all, that's just a color. I mean, they say you're white, but you're off pink or something like that, or blah, blah, right? So that's a color. That's not a nationality. We need to get to the nationality, right? So we figure out this nationality thing, I think we'll be better off. Better off. Went through the artifacts and stuff. We're gonna look at some more stuff though. Yeah, like let me see these pictures. See this Virginia tobacco man right here, this Indian with the feather skirt thing. See how this this right here? It's an old tobacco ad from Virginia, right, where they first pulled up at. So here is a so-called slave to be sold slave ad, right, in Charlestown, right? Look, a good plantation of slaves, right? But it says down here that to be sold very saddles and furniture, choice Barbados and Boston rum. See, now that means that now you see these so-called slaves with the Indian crowns and the feather skirts. These ain't no Africans or nothing like that. Okay, you look, do your history, do your research. You'll see that this is synonymous to a American, so-called American Indian, right? The true Aborigines. And then this will tell you that they was where their source of travel was. It wasn't across the Atlantic where the hurricane season prevents travel like that. It says Barbados and Boston rum. That means they going all up and along that coastal line, right? Picking up and dropping off from Barbados down in the islands to up to Boston. This right here shows you that right here. Another sister went and did a research at the building, and she told us, let us know that the numbers did not add up. So you know, the numbers did not add up. So let's see. Yeah, this I found. See, it's an apron. It's a lot of y'all Freemasons out there. Y'all know this apron thing, right? But look, see the feathers, see the feathers in the skirt, copper color, smoking a pipe, a mound in the bed. This ain't no teepee. This is a mound. It just, if it was a teepee, it wouldn't be nothing behind it. So anyway, so this is deep. That sun, moon, and stars symbolism. The eye with the sun behind it. Remember that. That's like a sun. And the two hands right here, you see that they're both European hands. Okay. Uh, Feather skirt, Indian crown, indigenous Indian crown. It's a difference. You see the different types, and you just know that one's a knockoff, one's the real thing. This is another photo I found. Look at this dude, right? This is a drawing, right, from back in the day, back in like I think it said 1840. But look, see this dude, the gold, see the gold, see real deal. So when you see that, and you see stuff like this, see, to be sold. Look, look at this dude running, right? They said they had the agility and the ferocity of tigers, right? Spanish accent, right? So where was he down? He was down there first, right? They Spaniards pulled up in Cuba, all them islands down there first, and took hold and never left, and started assimilating right away, you know. But see, these that's American stuff on this so-called slave runaway and to be sold as, right? So let's look at something else. I mean, have some stuff. Winterville, huh? Toltec Mounds in Arkansas. Look how this set up. So I look the whole. See, it has a perimeter that's like a it would be a palisade wall. Okay, don't forget that palisade wall, right? River, and then the mound community, right? Village, town. See? South Carolina, the Kusabo. No, that ain't in Arkansas, but I'm just looking at what it's saying. It's the Kusabo, the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. I'm telling you. Okay, let's see. What is this? Okay, here's some mound sites in Louisiana. See that Nap Mound? That's the uh, Totec right there. See the Sparrow Mound? Okay, see the so up here is the King Mounds. That what is it, Tennessee? I mean, yeah, Tennessee. Look at all of these mounds along the Mississippi River, right? It was river, lake, creek, swamp, all that woodland. Right? They mostly was in the woodland areas. They was everywhere though, desert and everywhere. But look, Kings Mound, right? Cahokia, that's in Illinois. That other thing said somewhere it said Missouri. That's Illinois right there. Centerville or Counterville or something like that. Look at all these Mississippi down here by Natchez and in Louisiana. Look, all the mound villages down over in Texas. Look, Texas, Oklahoma. This is like Kansas, I believe, something like that. Um, Illinois, Tennessee. But look at that. Look at that whole community of villages right there. Yeah, I'm always here's a bigger view of it, right? So they go all the way up there. Look, they all the way up here. Look right here. Uh, there was look at the Shenandoah village up here in Virginia. They're not showing it for some reason. It's not even shown. None of the villages in Virginia are shown. Right, that's Virginia. Yeah, that's D.C., Maryland, all this right here. They ain't showing nothing right there. But they pulled up over here first, so you know they probably bulldoze a lot of stuff down. But look at all of these mound villages. Serpent Mound. I think this is near Ohio, right? This is Ohio. Cincinnati, Cleveland, um, Miamisburg now, Fort Ancient, right? Cahokia, Havana, right? Way up here, around these lakes. Look, all around the lakes. Look, scattered about. There's El Dorado down here, right? El Dorado, Toltec, okay? Over here, right around over here is Montezuma in Mesopotamia, right? Mesopotamia, Montezuma, Toltec, El Dorado. And then down here is the Nachi. Nachi, if you do the history, some of their ancestry goes back across these waters down into that Olmec, Aztec, Mayan, and Toltecas area of Mexico, right? You look at the what Sam G. Morton said about the cranial, and what Humboldt said about the cranial, the indigenous of Mexico, Canada, Florida, Peru, and Brazil. He said they was all alike, right? Physically, right? And then if you look at the paintings, they all copper colored people, and they have the same kind of artifacts, the same kind of structures and things. We need to really get this together because for all these years, there's two things that I can see that's going on, and it's mentally and physically. So it's the health. They don't want us taking our herbs. They don't want us learning about who he is and on that aspect, because that's an aspect of it, is the health part. They probably lived to be 150 to 200 years when in the 1500s the first Europeans started to come bringing swine and stuff. They was probably 100 and something years old, strong as a bull. You know, they've been breaking us down, so we need, and that's one thing. And then on the mental note, uh, yeah, so they got us blind. Look at all these mounds right here. Come on. Have you heard of it? I just heard about mounds, and I grew up listening to A-Ball and MJG from the Orange Mounds in Tennessee. Okay, I just heard about the mounds. I look at all of these mounds. You have mounds hundreds of feet. I mean, 100+ feet in the sky, right? 300 football fields. I mean, the Serpent Mound is 1,300 feet long, 5,000 years old. Have you ever heard about the Rock Eagle Mound down here in Georgia, the Etowah Mounds? That's in the book. They talk about pulling up in to the mouth of the Etowah, right? But they don't say it's a mound or nothing right there. So you can tell how they try to keep things a secret in the book. The book will be telling the truth when it came out in the beginning of the 1800s, and by the end of the 1800s, they didn't discontinue the original copy, and then gave us a republished copy with all this riffraff, bunch of riffraff. Yeah, that's how they do it. But it says Town Creek. You need to really study this stuff. Right here, look, Lake Jackson. Some mounds right there, right? And over here in the corner, right here is mounds. Jacksonville, right? The Jaguars, right? And then this is like Tallahassee. If you look that up, and it's the capital of Florida, but it was the capital of the Indians that were there previous. So they put their capital on top of a capital, right? That's what happened right there. Okay. So, okay. So another thing you have to know. So some of these tribes, like right here where Baton Rouge is at, going across over the Biloxi and up here to where it says Porter right here, all of this area, even this little part of Florida, this is all Choctaw area. So it's like 4 states, right? A little bit of Florida, Alabama part, right? Going up way up here, and then down like over here like this. So it's Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and a little bit of Florida. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is Chickasaw up here. Chickasaw and Choctaw are closely. They fall in and out of love with each other, historically or whatnot. So, but they very close. They up against each other like that. Two of my folks, one from here came. Their people came over here to Texas and had a kid, and that's how I come about, right? So, and then one of my peoples from here had folks from over here. So, yeah, we just all, connected in here. But I just wanted to point it out that people down here in this little part of Louisiana might have relatives in Mississippi, Alabama, and even over in Florida that left here and went over to here or went up into Georgia. You never know. Most of these most of these mound villages were behind walls, as we can see, right? We seen that, right? They behind them walls, right? Now, here's something right here. This is the Shiloh Indian Mounds National Historic Landmark Interpretive Trail. Okay, so see the river, Tennessee River. See it? See this? A major river town, it says. A major river town. These big blocks are mounds. See down here? Indian mound. So this is burial mound C. Here's a mound B, D, E, A. It says a vibrant community. Okay. So over here, some reason it says 28th Illinois Infantry Burial Site. So this also is a mound thing, right? See down here. So they buried some folks, some infantrymen there at the mound. So right here it says crossing the palisade. See, crossing the palisade. See, they have palisades. See, now this must be. I mean, think about this. This is the river in the vibrant community way over here, but it says crossing the palisade way down here. So they must have had a wall going way around this place, right? It says signs of dwelling, a temporary wall. It says a temporary wall right here. That's what it says. The center of town, right here. Signs of prestige, right here. Now, this is Tennessee. Shiloh Indian Mounds. National Historic Landmark, right? This is Tennessee. Okay. Remember this. Study this thing here, okay? Okay. All right. So I wanted to point out another thing here that I noticed. I don't know if I got it back here. Nope. Well, okay. Let me just switch gears a little bit. Point this thing out right here. So this is the map that's inside the book America, written by John Ogilvy in 1671. This is the map he made of the continent right here. Now, you see Look how they got, yeah, he got them looking European almost, right? And that's how they would do things. They republish some things, go and doctor it up and then re-give it to the new generation or whatever. But look right here, how all of this, see, the old McLaren right here, see, around here, around this Gulf Coast, all these different rivers and lakes coming. Okay, see the island, see how thick it is with people, all the way down to the bottom. See, now if you look right here on the west coast of Africa, you can see how light it is, right? So there was a brother, good brother, did an interview with another brother from Africa who said that the place in West Africa that they say so-called the so-called African slaves were taken from and brought over here to be slaves, so-called, across this vast ocean right here. See how light it is? The brother said, that African man said nobody was even there at the time. Nobody was even there. Still ain't, they say, he said, in a lot of parts. But look how lightly scattered the the communities are here. Now look how thickly these communities here are. You understand me? It's not, look at that. Just want to point that out. That they're selling a dream to folks, and people been eating it up, and that's just not. It's not accurate. It's not good. You gotta do your own research. 'Cause ain't nobody gonna come along telling you nothing. They letting us live and die out this, live out and die this, die this life without knowing nothing. I was looking for an artifact that correlates to the structure I want to show you. Yeah, I put that check this out. Look at these two brothers back here. This thing somebody drew from back in the day. Look at these Indians right here. Look, different color plumases. See, pipe in his hand. And this is a thing right here too of a blackamoor, basically an Indian. See the pearls. See that's straight up indigenous. But I have a relative that lives out there, in Louisiana, and he looked dead on this this man right here. I ain't gonna lie. See them old ads, old cigarettes. Virginia, see Virginia. See these folks here with the pipes. See the sun. That sun right there. Remember that sun because you gotta be on top of that sun because they were sun people. Okay, they were sun folks. Got down with that sun. See this? It's like a sun. See? This is an artifact. It's like a Birdman, but see the sun thing? It's like a sun. Now look, Illinois, another artifact from the mound, of course. Look, sun. See, that's another thing in his hand that's got like a sun on it. That's like a snake or something. Snake's wisdom, spirit of wisdom or something like that. But yeah, I got a bunch of stuff. I collect the stuff that all pertains to the people. Now that you know, you can start going back. Like, look at this. This is a comb right here that somebody did in 1820. See the pearls on his neck, the bow and arrow. See the leaf skirt or whatnot. See the feather crown. This is a comb, right? Who be combing their hair, right? But yeah, so looking for this other artifact. I put it in another file somewhere. What I did. So I was looking for it though. Trip, I didn't put it on there. Hmm. I'm sorry, I ain't worried about nothing. Hmm. Okay, so what we go over now? Went over the connection with Henrietta Lacks from Maryland, Dr. Seaweed's herbs, and the Fountain of Youth, aka the natural thermal alkaline streams in Honduras. We did go over that. Then we showed you areas of Arkansas and Alabama, how it's all connected, right? It's all connected. Now, so see this, the Kadu, a lot of those artifacts. See how it's right there on the edge of West Texas, right here. That's the tribe, right? You got Louisiana. Look, Kado. So correlate that with that. Remember how you seen the mounds right across the Louisiana line right there? Correlate that with the ones that was right there. Them the same people, right? Then if you go up, right, the Shreveport over here, this area right here goes up into, see, right here, Arkansas. Look, right? So this is El Dorado is right down here. Then it goes into Louisiana and over to Texas. And Oklahoma has Kadu. See, so Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana. and Arkansas, right? Major area, right? So end up having relatives in them areas. It's not just because of the blood relation you have. It's also because of the nationality you guys share, right? Now, see Cherokee over here in Tennessee, and so Georgia. See, see Cherokee in Georgia. Now, of course, you know there's other tribes. Don't ever think that all this stuff is accurate like that. They ain't never gonna be giving it all to you accurately like that. It's a bunch of jumbled trickonology that you have to put piece together. They have all if a bunch of different sources are saying the same thing, then you could put that together, you know, put that on the top burner, right? But when something is jumbled, then you gotta move on and keep going, you know. Carolina has some Cherokee. Look, I got people right here that some of them left and went to Texas. Some stayed and stayed on the plantation through the 90s, right? I mean, through the not the 90s, the 1900s in the beginning, you know, like the 30s and stuff, from the 1700s, okay, from the 1700s to the 1900s, okay. My people was working for these folks. Like I was showing you earlier. See, Choctaw. Well, Biloxi is a little tribe down there, but you also have the Mobile. But I think they all just banded in with the Choctaw, right? Eventually. So, right, so you got that one. Then you would have Mississippi. See, see how it goes way up here and down to Louisiana, right there. See, so the tribes. See the Attapaca down there. They go into a little bit of. I believe they was in Texas too, right there. But them folks down from they came up there from Central and South America. That's for sure. So yeah, just doing a little looking at stuff. So you gotta do it. Gotta look at this stuff, you know. You can't forget like this right here in Alabama in Jackson County. This man, I mean, the Cherokee Indians gave them part of this county, and then in 1819, which and then what they were taking censuses, right? So they would have took one in 1820, 1830, 1840, 1850, whatever. But somehow the Union troops burnt the courthouse and most of the county records in 1864. 1864 was in the Civil War years, right? So the Union troops went and destroyed these records. So trust me, they wasn't doing it for no other reason than what the bottom line of this whole thing that I'm talking about, and a trillion other, I wish it was, but a bunch of other brothers and sisters is talking about too. We're all on this. We done our genealogy. We seeing where they burnt the courthouse and most of the county records. You know, we see this stuff. We see that our people was straight up uh, had their identity stolen, and all kinds of other things went down, right? See these things right here? It says research outline. See, I got a lot of them. Alabama, Arkansas, California, uh, all this stuff. Kansas, Kentucky. Let's go look at Kentucky, right? I think here's the census thing. Look, it says United States federal census of Kentucky were taken every 10 years from 1790 to 1990. That's 200 years. The 1790 to 1800 and 1890 censuses have been destroyed. Okay, see, I was looking at these and I stay in the county information, but I just so happened to look up here and it said that the 1890 censuses have been destroyed, right? In basically every one of the states. Then it says the 1890 Union Veteran Schedule and Index for most of the state is available, right? So somehow that's ever recurring as well, right? Where it says uh, the veteran Union veteran soldiers 1890 records survived, right? They survived. Okay, so let's just stop. I didn't pick this place to stop. I just stopped. Look, 1869, created from Lawrence, Carter, and Morgan counties. A disaster in 1966 destroyed some records. A disaster in 1964 destroyed some records. That's a that's that's a long way away, right? So let's see if any. Okay, so 1815, created from Ohio County. A disaster in 1865 destroyed some records. Cumberland County was created way back in 1798. Created from that was one of the first ones, right? Okay, 70. Okay. Disasters in 1865 and 1933 destroyed some records. Disasters in 1865 and 1870 destroyed most records. Excuse me, not yeah, these most records. Disasters in 1865 and 1890 destroyed some records. Okay, some records, all the right ones. Leave that. Christian County, 1796, created from Logan County. A disaster in 1864. Right? Wow. All these Civil War years destroyed most records. Okay, I just picked a state and I just randomly stopping on these counties. Okay. Bath County disasters in 1864 and 1964. 100 years later, destroyed many records. A disaster in 1880 destroyed most records. Disasters in 1859 and 1915 destroyed most records. A disaster in 1902 destroyed many records. Okay, let's go. We ain't going. Let's just go stop down here somewhere. Yeah. All right. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. Monroe County, 1820, created from Barron and Cumberland counties. Disasters in 1863 and 1887 destroyed most records. A disaster in 1863 destroyed most records. Disasters in 1862 and 1925 destroyed most records. Disasters in 1862 and 1925 destroyed most records. Okay, you talking about different counties here. You talking about these ain't just the building next to each other on the same street. We talking about different counties. Go down here. Okay. Disasters in 1885 and 1911 destroyed most records. A disaster in 1864 destroyed most records. All right. So we getting at to what, when you looking at this, you're looking at the when, the where, and the how type thing. See what I'm saying? Okay. So then you start putting the actual like the dates of the DOS rolls when they let uh European settlers sign up to be documented Native Americans. Look at those dates, and then look at a date like a disaster in 1898 destroyed most of the records. When you start looking at stuff and you able to put things together, you know, uh, when you see a place burnt in 1853, you know that the 1851 law, the Indian law that was passed in that year, has something to do with it. And then so on and so forth. Okay, we'll close that one and then go over to go to Tennessee. Let's go to that census part and just see, because you never can know, right? What they talking about, what happened. Right there, see? It says U.S. federal census of Tennessee were taken every 10 years from 1810. See? 1810. They started in 1810. Most of all the throughout the United States, so-called, they started in 1790, right? Especially they would have in a state like Tennessee being so far east, right? But no, look, 1810 to 2000. For 1810, only the Rutherford County census survived. And for 1820, only the census of Tennessee's eastern counties survived. Okay, eastern counties, right? The 1890 census was destroyed. The 1890 Union Veteran Schedule and index for most of the state is available. Okay, let's move down to these counties. Just go down there and stop. Okay, so all right. Trying to get popped one time. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is Tennessee. Look, land ceded by the Chickasaw Indians. Okay. Now on this one, see they get tricky. You got to know this language that we a lot of people take pride in everything of speaking perfectly and all that. Don't ever do that. But look, it says now on these look, it says early records may, three-letter word, may be found under Knox and Hawkins County. Okay. May, down here, early records may, right? Early records may be found under Coffee and Warren counties. That's what they talking about. That's how they coming at you over in Tennessee. But I mean, look, records may be found. That's how they coming on all of these. May be found, but you will uh find some stuff, some weird stuff like London County was established on 1870 from parts of Ronay and Monroe and Blunt. counties in Christina County by the names was changed. Okay. But the name was changed to Loudoun County. Okay, they changed the names and all that. See, early records may be found under Hardin County. See, here's some 1819 from land ceded by the Cherokee Indians. You gotta know these dates. Okay, why would all of a sudden on this day, on this year, in this year, the Cherokees be giving this part of Tennessee to them? This not this part, but because they still would live in the county, but they would give them a part of it, and then they would send somebody out to draw lines, a surveyor or whatnot, and claim the whole section, name it a county, even though it's these people's land and whatnot. Okay, it's called tactics. But anyway, so if you look at the Creek and the Creek Wars and stuff, the Seminole Wars and things like that. And then you'll know that other Indians like the Choctaws went over to help the Creeks and to help the Seminoles and stuff. And you'll see those dates and you'll see why this land, like in 1819, would have been given at that time, you know. So yeah, let's go. I'm gonna show you this. So you know that they don't all look the same, and there's a reason for that. See, look, this is Virginia. Now let's go down to the census thing just to see if that's the same. Somehow, way up in Virginia, from Tennessee and Kentucky, that somehow the records of 1890 somehow were destroyed. Let's see if they were here. Hmm, it's saying they okay. 1890 is not on here. See, it says Soundex Phonotech Index is available on microfilm for part of the 1880 and all of the 1900, 1910, and 1920 censuses. So the 1890 is not there. You understand me? We just seen that. See, look, see, all this 30, 1830, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. No 90, 900, 1900, 1910, 1920. Okay. And they don't tell you, they don't, okay, hold on. Right here it says 1890 Union veteran schedules are available at the Family History Library. Okay, okay. Them Union veterans, huh? So yeah, no, they didn't even say it was destroyed. They just didn't put the number on there. They told you what they had. That's it. Okay. Now look at this. Look at that. Virginia. Okay. So Virginia Beach is an independent city, huh? What does that mean? Warren County, Warwick River County, Washington County. Okay, where's the information? Okay, they send you to a book or something. Look, History of the Settlement and Indian Wars of Tazewell County. See, that'll be a good book to go get. 1852. That's trust me, the good some of these is good sources right here up under the county when you go look at it. It's got good stuff. Some of it's for sure meant to blind you though. Well, if you don't know, look at all this missing county information in this document right here. Just like on the map where I showed you there wasn't no in Virginia, you didn't see any mound villages. Look, missing all kinds of missing Missing information that's supposed to be here. I mean, this is America, right? This ain't a third world country where we gotta, well, we ain't even writing stuff down no more. They encoding it into these computers, right? That's how advanced America is, right? Where is this information though? See, where's the information there? I'm not getting it. Well, uh, look, Shenandoah County, finding your people in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. 200 years in the Shenandoah Valley. That might be the German element of the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. Huh. A history of Shenandoah County. Probably be deep. Southampton County. Okay, that's where Nat Turner was at in 1831, 10 months after the Indian removers signed the 1830 Indian Removal Act. 10 months later, in Southampton County, Virginia, Nat Turner went off. Now, they call it a slave rebellion, right? Because they want you to think black people came from Africa as slaves. So they call that a slave rebellion. But uh, why didn't Nat Turner rebel the year before or the year before that? Or, why did he choose 10 months after the Indian Removal Act was signed to have a rebellion? Okay, it don't take a rocket scientist to put things together. See, that's all I'm trying to help folks do. Put this together because it ain't going good. So get all this information. Look, Powhatan, look, county, look. Okay, where's all this info at? Northampton County. Okay, look, Manassas. Look, see that SAS like Arkansas, Kansas, and other like Chickasaws. That saws. That's indigenous for sure, right? Information there. Just going through this. Hmm. They don't have the information. They don't tell you what tribe seeded the land and blah blah nothing on the books, and then go to the tribes over there and tell you what read what history they tell you of how blah blah blah. You see, because and then a lot of the times you could just take the story, but don't take you know what they telling you the people look like and this and that and the other. We already seen Samuel G. Morton's book when he said everybody was what they call Negroes, right? Except for the Eskimos to the north. You got to run with that one right there for sure because it backs up everything the brothers were saying. Like, everything these the living and deceased brothers been saying, period. Everything they saying is backed up by books put out in the 16, 15, 17, 1800s, period. Look at all this county information that ain't there. But the oh yeah, that's what it is, right? So yeah, you correlate the dates and stuff. Correlate the dates with your peoples when your people left here, left there, and then you can look at the laws and the treaties and stuff. because a lot of this stuff has to be pieced together, and that's for sure. So long as folks know that, then just keep it pushing. All right, we're gonna end it. Let y'all get on about your business. Hope y'all enjoyed the broadcast. Peace.